r/ask Reddit, Iceland just announced that every Icelander over the age of 18 automatically become organ donors with ability took out. How do you feel about this? As long as I can still taxidermy my body when I'm dead, they can have my organs. You know exactly how Reddit feels about that crap. My organs are free for all if anyone needs them. It's interesting, because this is actually very similar to their state church system. Icelanders are automatically registered as a member of their mother's church upon birth and have to opt out if they don't want to be registered as a church member. My Icelandic friends and I call it Christian by default. Leads to a lot of interesting cultural and religious views of what it means to be religious or not. Most people don't unregister, but just never go to church. And the church is registered with. As long as the ability to opt out is easy and evident, I don't care. Edit, thanks for the upvotes everyone. I really did not expect my opinion to be appreciated by so many people. I did read most of the comments and responded to some. It seems a lot of people can't think of a reason to opt out. The only answer I have to that is everyone has their own view on life and may have different views than the majority. Just out of curiosity, what would this mean in a Jane/John Doe type situation? Just out of curiosity, what would this mean in a Jane/John Doe type situation? There seems to be this weird stigma that people have where they think that if they are an organ donor and the ER folks see that when trying to save their life, that for whatever reason they'll half-ass it so they can get their organs. I've never understood it, but this seems like a good way to handle that. Let people choose not to be helpful post-mortem instead of them having to choose to be. I've always said that this should be the way. I got an extra 13 years with my dad thanks to someone else's heart. Edit, I'm going to do my best to get back to every responder to this comment. It's almost exactly a year to the day that my dad died and you've, mostly, all made me tear up with your comments and stories. Hashtag if you want to be an organ donor, make sure your family knows about it now. I've always said that this should be the way. I got an extra 13 years with my dad thanks to someone else's heart. Edit, I'm going to do my best to get back to every responder to this comment. It's almost exactly a year to the day that my dad died and you've, mostly, all made me tear up with your comments and stories. Hashtag if you want to be an organ donor, make sure your family knows about it now. Deleted. I don't know, my heart's just not in it. Edit, on a serious note, it's a great idea. Smart idea. If you care enough to not be an organ donor, you can just opt out. This just increases the pool by adding the folk who didn't care. I do believe there should be a clause added for those who could not reasonably be asked to give consent in the first place. How do I feel about extremely popular opinion? Oh Reddit, yun ever change? Not even the wording. How do you feel about this? We've had this in Wales since 2015. I can't remember anyone disagreeing with it. I once went to a service Ontario here in Canada and the person in front of me opted out to be an organ donor. The service lady at the desk was pretty loud when saying, "Okay sir, you are no longer an organ donor." Everyone stared. This could be seen as publicly shaming the man. Reminder to sort by controversial for the interesting discussions. I'd opt out immediately. Just not comfortable with the idea. Don't take my choice away from me. I have a question for everyone who upvoted and commented on these. How many of you are organ donors? I'm in Portugal, we already do this, it has never been an issue as far as I recall. It's the same in the Netherlands. It's a good thing people can opt out, and also, the relatives of a deceased person can still decide to opt out if they want to. Many people aren't against this, but don't really want to think about it or make an effort while alive, and organs are needed hard. When my brother killed himself, the hospital was incredibly pushy and pressured my grieving mother to let them harvest him. They took away our chance to say goodbye, and they botched the procedure and ruined all of his organs by not putting him on a ventilator. Then they billed us $30,000 for butchering him. Andre refused to budge on the bill. We still can't even collect high state because of the hospital bills from them cutting him apart against his wishes. He was dead before he ever arrived in St. Mary's Hospital in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm from Austria and it's been like this over here for as long as I can remember. Honestly, there is no issue. Very few people actively don't want to be donors. They care enough to just opt out. Most people don't care whether or not their organs are donated / don't think about it and would be too lazy to opt in if it weren't automatic. I literally see no reason against it. Anyone I've ever talked to about our system has expressed the same opinion. It's beyond me why it's not a thing in Morku. I'm not a fan of having to opt out of something you didn't sign up for in the first place. The onus shouldn't be on the non-consenting party. I am an organ donor myself, and encourage everyone to be organ donors. However, I know that many people and their families have personal reasons for not wanting to be donors. Despite the ability to opt out, there will still be cases of people who didn't get around to opting out or maybe weren't even aware that they are compulsory donors. Also, if people not a fan, it violates the idea of free choice over one's body. How can the logic of my body my choice be applied to abortion but not to your own bodily organs? If I'm dead I don't need my organs. I have to disagree. While morally I think it is great to have organs more readily available, I think you should not automatically be opted in. My feelings on this stem from the technology industry. Apps, Windows, Microsoft, browsers, video games, they all automatically opt you into their information gathering, email sending, text message viewing, invasive services. I personally think it should be illegal to have anyone automatically opt me in for anything. Everything should be a default. No one should be automatically opted in for anything. No one should have to spend time, energy, or have to navigate tricky menus just to opt out of something they never agreed to in the first place. Even if it is a simple 5 minutes of your time with an easy-to-navigate website. Most companies / places bank on people not paying attention / not knowing in the first place. I don't really care, but I do have a funny story. When I was 16 I was with my dad getting my driver's license. The lady asked me, "Do you want to be an organ donor?" I looked at my dad horrified, and said, "When does that operation take place?" Unpopular opinion, but I do not like it. And #X200B, I am all for organs going to those that need it, and I would hate for organs to decompose and go to waste. And #X200B, but I am very much against the notion that you are automatically subscribed to becoming an organ donor. This would suggest they would have an automatic claim over your body unless you opt out. I principally believe that they do not and should not have any claim to my organs and body unless I willingly opt myself in. I think it's great to have more donors and I'll get hated for these, but I want to be complete when I'm buried. Please respect me, selfish wish. We've had this in Wales, part of UK, for a few years now. I don't know, what if there was a law where all your possessions went automatically to the state upon your death unless you specifically opted out and said it goes to your spouse and kids. Such systems may lack accessibility for many people, and others may not even know about the fact they are automatically opted in. It also seems to reduce the medical idea of body autonomy, so for these reasons I'd say no. While it is a good idea for saving lives, I feel like the government automatically opting in is kind of an overreach of powers. Hey, you made it to the end, nice job. Remember to like and subscribe, it's free and you can unsub whenever you want.